This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're gonna acknowledge me.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another main event review. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode. We're coming off the back of Night of Champions, which we reviewed last week, and back to normal proceedings with the two main event matches and also the events that transpired on Raw as well. This recording was a little bit different. Normally, the main events, for those that do know or don't know, were recorded the night before the next coming Monday Night Raw. But this time, it was recorded in Saudi Arabia on SmackDown, before the SmackDown show there. It seems as though that they forgot to bring the main event banners because there was SmackDown across the ring when they were in Saudi Arabia. So the two matches will have SmackDown banners all around. But yeah, this was filmed before SmackDown, so that's probably why that was the case. But yeah, a few things to get through there, or else everything else was pretty much the same as what main event normally is anyway. So we do get off and kick away with the first match, and that was Legado del Fantasma taking on Thraxium. Legado del Fantasma, I keep getting the name always mixed up when I say it, gets the victory here, Angel and Berto, which was a bit of a surprise to me, given that Thraxium have started off on fire and were pretty much close to getting a World Tag Team Championship on SmackDown, and now they're losing on main event. I guess probably the main reason why that's the case is because Legado del Fantasma are the AAA Tag Team Champions. And if you guys have the chance to watch that match, it was a really good match. I ended up actually watching it on AAA, and they won the title there. And given that they have the partnership with each other, obviously they're able to bring those belts to WWE, which they have done. So I guess this is them just flexing their muscles, giving them that kind of momentum and to defend that belt, but also to sort of flex that out on a main show as well. And I guess if Thraxium beat them, then they'd be contenders for that championship too, and it just overcomplicate things. But this is just a standard match, I think. Nothing that will change the storyline there. Obviously, the tag team division has ramped up in SmackDown, especially now with the integration of the Wyatt 6-2. They're looking to get their nose involved in tag team business. And I always say this, SmackDown's doing a really good job at the tag team division and how it's been structured, but Raw's really lacking behind. So there might need to be a bit of a kind of shift in getting these tag teams on Raw as well, hopefully. But Thraxium are new, and they're coming off NXT. They started hot and they're sort of slowing down at the moment, but I don't think it will really affect anything there. The tag team division will remain competitive, and Thraxium will be involved in that as well. And Legado del Fantasma will continue to stay as they are. There was a bit of teasers that Berto could potentially leave. They were sort of teasing that with Santos Escobar. They weren't really getting along, and he sort of was trying to get convinced, but from Andrade. So I'm not really sure what happened there, because all of a sudden they're looking stronger than ever with the AAA belts. But maybe something that they'll probably revisit, because I did sort of suspect that Berto could potentially be a babyface with Andrade and form a new tag team, but they've sort of ditched that for now. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But again, those two win the match, and as mentioned, they'll probably get some more momentum going forward there. We then move on to Raw, where we have Gunther entering the ring to run a promo. Basically saying that Goldberg is a 58-year-old man that wants to ride out his career. Gunther said that it won't happen because Goldberg is not capable of taking the world title from him. He said that he's capable of beating Goldberg in under 3 minutes, but his goal was to take him his time, blow him up, outclass him, and embarrass him in front of everyone that is near and dear to him. He also mentions that that Goldberg doesn't like bullies, but basically said that he is the biggest bully around. So then mentioned that he'll bully him and treat him like a piece of crap. Then he basically said there's nothing Goldberg could do about it. Gunther then said if people would wonder if he still has it, but Gunther would expose him. And Gunther then said after he wins, he'll be the one to ask who's next. And as he said that about 3-4 times, Seth Rollins makes his way into the ring with his Money in the Bank briefcase that Paul Heyman was holding. It was funny because as soon as Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman came into the ring, Gunther basically said that they seemed happy for going all the way to Saudi Arabia and achieving nothing, which, was pretty hilarious. He said that, then actually Rollins said that they haven't seen Gunther since he regained the World Heavyweight title, and explained that Night of Champions wasn't to cash in the Money in the Bank, it was to stop CM Punk from becoming World Champion. And that's when there were CM Punk chants. Seth Rollins did congratulate Gunther, and as he was about to probably say that he's going to cash in on him eventually, CM Punk comes in and just starts attacking Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins then escapes the ring, and as he does escape the ring, LA Knight is behind him and ends up attacking him as well. And while that's happening in the ring, Gunther bumps into CM Punk and hooked his arm, and then CM Punk pushed him onto the ground, and they kind of had a stare off there. But the main thing here was the two things that actually happened. Obviously, CM Punk and Seth Rollins, which I suspect that they're going to get at it at SummerSlam once again. Those two can't seem to get away from each other. But LA Knight attacking Seth Rollins and setting himself up a match at Saturday Night's Main Event will be something extremely interesting. I think since LA Knight has dropped the belt, or even while he's had the belt, he hasn't really had any important storylines. And I think this one's massive for him. He's really getting himself involved in big picture here, taking on Seth Rollins, which is what I like to see. But I don't think he's going to win the match, unfortunately, at Saturday Night's Main Event. So this is probably just going to be a one-off thing, and it will lead to CM Punk and Seth Rollins. And I guess Seth Rollins continues to flex his muscles. I did say he was going to go for the WWE Championship, but you never know now with what Seth Rollins is doing. Obviously teasing Gunther, teasing John Cena, teasing Cody Rhodes. Essentially it can go anywhere, and that's what I like about this. But we're really not accounting for brand splits at the moment, because there's no brand split anymore with these storylines. Like Seth Rollins is getting involved with people on SmackDown, and he's obviously trying to cash in as well, and he's on Monday Night Raw. So it doesn't really make too much sense. I do like the idea of LA Knight potentially moving to Raw. I think that could be something that would really elevate LA Knight. He's made for a show like Monday Night Raw. I feel like it suits him more as well. And definitely an opportunity to fight for a title that's not, I guess, overlooked by or like overinflated by John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and now Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre too on that side, since what's been happening on SmackDown. So maybe going for World Heavyweight Championship, taking on Gunther, having a program with him, or if Seth Rollins cashes in for that title, them having a program. I think he's in better spot for that than on SmackDown at the moment, because I think LA Knight has the capabilities of being a world champion. It's just right now the talent is so heavy that he hasn't had his opportunity, and I feel like eventually he will. The fact that he's really good on the mic and fans really like him is something that I think we'll see in the future. But for now, I think he's just going to hype up this match, but most likely he'll probably lose there. We then stay on Raw, and we have Rhea Ripley coming into the ring as well. She essentially mentions that she's put away the Judgment Day for good, and she basically wanted to say what's next for her since Evolution is around the corner. That's when Io Sky makes her entrance into the ring. She said that she can't have Evolution without Sky. She mentions that she's not on top. Rhea Ripley's not on top as Sky's the women's world champion. She already also mentioned that she spoke to Adam Pearce and told her that she could pick who she wants to defend the world title against at Evolution. And Sky chooses, obviously, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley says that she has a lot of respect for Io Sky, but if that's what she wants, she'll stop at nothing to get that title back. And whatever happens at Evolution, this is what Io Sky wanted as well. So this sort of sets up the match at Evolution between the two. So Io Sky finally has a match and is finally going to defend the title. She hasn't done that since WrestleMania, and they haven't been able to find anything for her, unfortunately. So that's why I guess Rhea Ripley is going back into the fold. But they do get another chance at fighting each other one-on-one, and gives Rhea Ripley the opportunity to win the title here. I don't think she will, but we'll have to see what happens there. I'm really excited for Evolution as well. I really like the idea of a women's pay-per-view. I think it's going to have a lot of really significant matches, and I think this will be one of them. This might lead up to what will happen at SummerSlam. Obviously, Io Sky will defend the title at SummerSlam, you'd like to think. So there's no real storyline for her, or new storyline, or new feud at the moment. So we may see this kind of amp up, or I don't know, or maybe a return or something. But the fact that this match is at Evolution with SummerSlam around the corner is going to tell where the direction of this title will be post that. So we'll look out for that for sure. We then get the second match of main event between B-Fab and Roxanne Perez. Obviously, being in Saudi Arabia, they have to fully clothe themselves. And I already gave my sort of take on that. We had Roxanne Perez getting the victory here. So that's twice B-Fab has lost to NXT elevated stars. Those are on NXT this year. So 2 rookies, we'll say, for lack of a better term. But this time, Roxanne Perez rolling up and putting her legs on the second rope to get the victory here. So sort of cheating her way there, but great victory nevertheless. Again, B-Fab is not really doing much as a single star, and maybe she might be injected into that tag team match, given that she is a SmackDown superstar with Michin. But highly doubt it. We might just see her in the Women's Battle Royal. But Roxanne gets the victory here, giving her, I guess, momentum going into holding those tag team championships with Raquel Rodriguez, which is what we're going to see. But then we also have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss involved in that too. And I want to sort of talk about that because I like the idea of it. I like the idea that they don't necessarily have to be friends, but we're seeing 2 sort of single stars, massive single stars, come together and form a tag team. And that's something that I've been wanting to see in the men's division for a very long time. And I'm sort of glad they're doing it in the women's division with those 2 superstars as well. Those 2 deserve to be up there. Obviously, people have their opinions and thoughts on Charlotte Flair, but she is a legend. She has done a lot of things for the company. So her being involved, and if she's still an active superstar, needs to be involved in titles and needs to be involved in something significant. And I think that those 2 going for the titles elevates the women's tag team division and also improves it as well. And that's why sometimes I find that it's really important to have sort of single superstars form as tag teams, not for a long time, not for something that's long term, but at least something that can kind of elevate the titles when the titles are sort of dying out. And that's what I noticed with tag teams divisions, is that sometimes the titles and kind of the feuds do sort of fade out. So that's why it's good to have single superstars kind of partner up together. And in this aspect, it's going to be Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, which is something really exciting. But again, that doesn't really do much for what we're talking about in this match. But again, they're going to be fighting. Roxanne Perez is going to be fighting these 2, and she'll need that. And this will obviously motivate her there, and that will give her a lift for that match too going forward. We then had the main event match between Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, and taking on Penta and Sami Zayn. We had Bron Breakker spearing Zayn to get the pin here, and I don't think that's going to damage Sami Zayn too much. Obviously, he took the pin, but given that he got attacked by Karrion Kross before, kind of makes this feel as though that the injury kind of cost him there. But after the match was the interesting part. Penta was checking up on Sami Zayn, and then Bron Breakker nailed Penta with a spear, and Reed was about to go on top and hit a tsunami, but then Jey Uso made it to the ring to save Sami Zayn. The fans went off when Jey made his entrance to the ring, and he hit Sami Zayn with, not Sami Zayn, he hit multiple super kicks, and also Jey Uso threw a chair at Reed to knock his head out of the ring. He celebrated with Zayn and Penta in the ring, and Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman were down on the floor. and that was pretty much a flex there. We might see a potential 6-man tag if these three are involved to take on Rollins, Reed, and Breakker, but maybe we might see this on Raw, not on any main events. Or we could see Jey Uso and Sami Zayn in one of these PLEs go up against them too. And now that Jey Uso's out of the title race, this probably makes more sense for him to get involved with Sami Zayn here. And potentially those two could team up for kind of the time being and go for the World Tag Team Champions there. But again, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of buzz with Sami Zayn potentially getting his WrestleMania moment next year. And I also mentioned that he is pretty much a favorite going into next year's Royal Rumble, especially given that it's in Saudi Arabia. And I think the way that it's directed is that he will main event WrestleMania and have his main event moment, given that he's been a long serviceable member for WWE for so long. So we'll look at that down the line for sure. But again, these guys have to continue to fight off this massive faction on Raw, and it gives everyone here something to do, which is great. But again, it's been another main event review. Next week, I'll be reviewing Saturday night's main event along with the main event review. Again, these PLEs come out of nowhere. So if there is anything on Raw that sort of leads up to main event, I won't review it. But if it's not, I'll review it, obviously, because we want to keep it as consistent as we can to the main event. But I hope you guys understand, given that there is only 2 matches and there isn't really much storyline to talk about in these main event matches. Only things where I can kind of predict what can happen based on those matches onto the main rosters, and then also talk about what they're sort of doing on the main roster as well. I would love for main event, I wish they could do it, to sort of be a show where those that can't get on SmackDown and Raw have their feuds and have their issues there, and maybe we can implement one of the mid-card titles to be challenged on that show here and there. But that's just me asking maybe for too much. But again, it's been your boy Daniel and another main event review. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.